Hello, in this video we're going to be doing a vertical stripe scarf. We're going to be using one of the CINDWOOD narrow looms. You can use any one of them that you want. Now, this scarf right here was done using just the stockinette stitch, where one way was one color and the other way was another color. The one I'm going to do in this video is going to be very similar to that. But first you need two different colors. I'm using black, and I just got a jumbo roll of Caron. What color is this? Peacock. Alright. So what we do is I've already got my yarn guides. Other tools you're going to need is you'll need a crochet hook just to weave in your ends. You'll need scissors. You will need your loom tool. Oh, here's my loom tool. And you'll need just a piece of scrap yarn that is a contrasting color from what you're using. So what I'm going to do is actually just tie a knot. Tie both these together. And just kind of wrap them around that anchor peg. And as you can see, the pegs are marked on this loom so that I will wrap the black yarn around the black pegs. This is my starting peg. And the red pegs, I'll wrap my secondary collar around. Okay, so we can get started. Now for the cast on, you already got that hooked. I'm going to be doing kind of like you do with a figure 8. Okay, so we got both of our yarn tied together, hooked to our anchor peg. We got our tensioners on them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start with the black, and we're going to do kind of like a figure 8 stitch, but we're only doing it on the black pegs. Just however wide we're going to make this, which is, I'm not going to make a very wide scarf. So that's all we do with that one. Now we take our secondary collar, which I'm using a variegated collar, and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it with the collared pegs. Just up to that same spot where that one is. And here's where we take our contrasting collar. You put that on top, which this is one of the narrow looms, so you want to shove that down underneath. Get my hook to pull that. There we go. Shove that down under there, and we'll shove it down on this side as well. And all this does is separate that first row so we could finish it up later. So I'm just gonna tie a knot there just so it stays. You want to push all the yarn down on the loom. Now we're going to go back, which our yarn's already on this peg, so we're just going to go do that same wrap on the same pegs, and your pegs are collared so you don't end up getting them confused. So I took the black all the way down to the other end. Go ahead and pull that bottom one over the top just so it locks it in. Okay, and now we're going to take and do it on the red pegs as well. And pull the bottom over the top. And now that's all we do. We just take bottom loop over the top loop all the way down. We're going to do it on that opposite side as well. Then just push it down to the bottom. And you just go back and you do the same thing. You just do like a figure 8 stitch pattern only on the same color. If you mix up the colors, you don't do the same, then you won't have your stripes. Okay, we'll do the second one. This is a very simple project, and it gives you a nice, very symmetrical, even stripes, although this one's a slightly different stitch, which when I'm done, I'll show you the contrast between them. That way you can decide which stitch you would rather do. Right. So that is all there is to this. Just keep doing that pattern until the scarf or whatever you're making gets to the length you want, and then I will show you how to cast off. Once your scarf or neck warmer or whatever you're making gets as long as you want it, this is how you cast off. Let me zoom in for this. What you're going to do is you're going to take loop from one side, put on the second side. You're going to do this all the way down, which it'll be a red on black, black on red, just like I'm doing. Alright, once you got that, we're going to treat both the loops on each peg as one. And I'm just going to go ahead and use both strands of yarn here to do this cast off. Now what I'm going to do, this is a variation of the crochet cast off where you don't need to use a crochet hook to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your first one, you're going to pull the working yarn up through like you would for a purl stitch. But instead of doing a purl stitch, you're actually going to pull the working yarn through, which will do that with the working yarn. There, you pulled the working yarn through. You're going to go to the next one, and we're using both loops as one. You're going to do like a chain one in between each one. And if you're having trouble seeing what I'm doing, I do have a separate video that shows you how to do this cast off. Just pull the loop up through. Then you take the working yarn, pull through. If you want it to be a stretchier cast off, you do more chains in between. Where I just did a chain one, you'd pull it through and do another one. So I'm going to do a couple more just to show you. Okay, there we go. Do one chain. You do this all the way till you get to the last one. You pull the loop through, but instead of doing a chain one, you cut your yarn and pull it completely through, and that will tighten it up, and then you can take the whole thing off the loom. And here you go. This is what the cast off looks like. It's a very nice, neat cast off. Now, how you finish off your cast on edge, you're going to be working the opposite end of your cast on strings, and you're going to need a crochet hook, which this one's really small. You'd probably actually really want to use a bigger one. As you can see, this orange strand is separating all those first stitches. So you're going to grab the first one, and you're going to grab the second one, And then you'll take and pull. Oop, I didn't get all that. There we go. You're going to pull the second one through the first one. There we go. Then you're going to look and find your next one. Pull it through. Find your next one. Pull it through. And sometimes it's a little confusing to tell, like right here, exactly which one is your next one. In those cases, they're that close together, it's not going to make a difference. Just grab one of them and just keep going. You just want all the strands that are on top of the orange strand. That is all that first row. We're almost at the end here. So we got just a couple more left. Alright. Now we're at the end. We can cut the orange string, pull it all the way through. Now what you want to do is you want to take your cast on strings. This is why we start the opposite end. Pull them through and you'll weave them down through to lock all that in. But here's your cast on edge. And here's, okay, I'll hold them up next to each other. Cast on, cast off. Looks a little different, but they're still very, very similar. And that's all there is to it. Now for Halloween, this I just wanted to see how it would stripe using the variegated yarn. But for Halloween, you can do it red and black, you can do it orange and black, you can do it black and purple. Pretty much any color, solid color you mix with black will look very good for Halloween. So that's all I have for this video. Any questions or comments, please leave in the comment section below. I do hope this video helped, and thank you for watching.